What's up? What's up? What's going on? Hi, everyone. Everyone that's joined so far. Anyway, how are we all doing? We don't have many people in the YouTube stream so far, do we? Where is everyone? Nick, how are we doing? Oh, mate, can always rely on you to be first or in and around first, can't we? How you doing, Nick boy? Great to see you. Anyone else that's in here, please do drop a like on the stream. Please do be welcomed in. It's a pleasure to welcome you. And yeah, I'm looking forward to today's stream. Apparently, let's have a look. Has this started moving? Yeah. Oh, that already started moving yesterday. Interesting day in the market. Very interesting day in the market. Stonksy is still red on the 1 hour. Stonksy is still red on the 1 hour, and we've obviously come lower now. We still haven't taken out them equal lows on Bitcoin. I'm still waiting for this. I'm still thinking this. I am still, eagerly awaiting what happens lower. I am not in a rush to do anything. I mean, I can't think that we put in some sort of double bottom here. I mean, we haven't even swept them equal lows yet for a start. But I mean, things are looking still weak in the market. To me, there's nothing really that's screaming me saying yes, you know, strength is coming or whatever. Particularly, obviously, with TradFi keeping dumping as well. So yeah, I'm remaining patient. I'm remaining with my plan. I'm still waiting towards 90, and that's my thoughts. Wiz, how we doing, mate? Great to see you. Nova Quant, is it going all down today? It could do, yeah. I mean, that definitely could. It has the potential to go up, down today, doesn't it? I'm in the opinion that the faster the better. You know, just this like sideways consolidation and everything, no good, because obviously we're getting, you know, further into November, further towards end of year. Personally, I would just like to see wherever it's going to crash to, it just do it fast and just get it over with, rather than just, you know, the boring, just slow bleed and stuff like that. Just, you know, just get it over with in a day, in a couple days, just get it done. And then, of course, then we at least have time in November to build some sort of base and, you know, kind of level off before maybe, you know, maybe just maybe first few weeks in December, you know, typically the first 2 weeks in December are good. And then obviously we get a cool off for Christmas and end of year, but gives us time to maybe put some sort of a rally together. But I'm still in the mind that we go lower. We go one more leg lower towards 90. I've not seen anything in the price to suggest otherwise, and that was strong. So that's what I'm going to go with anyway. Look at MicroStrategy. This thing is getting absolutely pummeled, isn't it? It's down another 4%. This thing, and I think really what will be key is this. So I don't know if anyone else has noticed this or not. Let me know in the chat if you have. But most of the time, this thing will front run the Bitcoin moves. This thing will front run Bitcoin. So as you can see, for instance, in April, obviously we got the triple bottom, but in April you can see, come the middle of May, MicroStrategy had already ran super hard. You know, that was almost a 2x up there, and then of course it went on to top. Obviously before Bitcoin, and then it started to sell off. So MicroStrategy had its run, topped, and then started to sell off before Bitcoin topped and started to sell off. And of course, it's been in a corrective phase since the middle of July, and it's not done yet. So what I think personally is obviously that, and there's more data to suggest this. You know, for instance, last year, MicroStrategy was well front running the Bitcoin move. If you look here, it was in the consolidation phase, and come when Trump got elected here, you know, when Bitcoin really started to run, MicroStrategy had already blasted out of its range that it was trading in while Bitcoin was trading in its range, and was already, you know, a good solid 40 odd percent into when that looks like it's bottomed, or when it's reached a key level. You know, I think once it gets back in towards to this region, then there's a good chance for looking for a bottom somewhere on this. Then I think we'll get the Bitcoin bottom come. But in my mind, this just front runs the Bitcoin moves, and it's still selling off, which makes me think obviously that there's still more Bitcoin sell off to come. Should I buy more meme coins? I don't give financial advice. Sorry, Nova Quant. I don't give financial advice. I can't answer that question for you. So that's why we're up to MicroStrategy. Coinbase. Now, what's actually interested in Coinbase? Wiz, you'll remember this. Earlier on in the year, I was eagerly waiting a push into this consolidation block here. And of course, if you look, you know, throughout August, we just leveled off and didn't go down there. I'm obviously thinking now, if Bitcoin carries on its weakness, then we should get that push into here. Maybe it even comes in and fills this in down towards 200. Who knows? Circle is looking like a bag of dicks. Just to be honest, like, it's looking absolutely horrendous in it. We are now basically towards the IPO candle. I mean, we're teetering on the price action on day 2 of IPO, but I mean, this thing could, I mean, it could go anywhere, couldn't it? It could very quickly find Circle down towards $60, $50, $40. Who knows? It's not got anything really that we can look at apart from, the IPO candle. So maybe this thing is going to go into negative price discovery. Jemmy keeps going down. Really unfortunate with that, but yeah, there we go. Dave gives me financial advice. Yeah, waiting on Coinbase, but yeah, I'm just kind of waiting on everything bid, aren't we? We're just kind of waiting on everything bid. I think I think we've really. I think if you look at this, if you look at obviously where we was trading previously, and Stonksy's got it outlined there with the red line, but if you want to make it into a box, there we go, so you see it a bit better. We are only into day 4 of obviously the range breakdown. So, I said it, didn't I? I think I said it was Wednesday on day 2 of the range breakdown. I said, we're very early into Bitcoin breaking down after trading in a range for the best part of 2.5 months. So there's no rush. And of course, we don't know where it's going to go. But I mean, yeah, I'm thinking this is my area anyway. And sooner we hit it, sooner we hit it, the better, because that's only a 10% drop. Just get it out of the way, and then maybe can build some sort of base, and then start to push back up before the end of November. But you look at November, we opened at 100, basically just under 110, 109.5-ish. You look at the monthly, the weekly. I'll tell you what's interesting. I've seen, do you know what's actually quite interesting? Since we talked about this the other day as well, I've seen a lot of people starting to tweet about the 50 weekly moving average. So if you do actually see anyone tweeting about it, make sure you comment on their post and say that Stonksy talked about it first. We looked at this on, I think it was Monday or Tuesday, and I've seen a lot of people suddenly start to. They probably haven't watched the stream. I'm not claiming that they've watched the stream and stolen the analysis, but other people have started to get onto it. But if you do see anyone tweeting about the 50 weekly moving average, make sure you let them know. Stonksy talked about it first. Dave, are you discounting the 4-year cycle and contemplating whether we could be now in the start of a bear market? Potentially, yeah. I mean, yeah, potentially. It's all. I mean, that is a very real possibility, isn't it? It is a real possibility that we could be in the start of a bear market. That is definitely a possibility. It's not impossible, is it? No one can sit there and tell you or tell me or tell anyone that 100% certainty we are not at the start of a bear market. You can't say that. No one can tell you that for a fact. So it is definitely possible. I mean, you look at this weekly close will be telling, because whatever you think about moving averages, whether you think, the much use or whatever, the fact is we've held this weekly moving average since the start of the bull market. And we have used it, obviously, as a point of support where prices bounced off all along the way up. So it is a very significant piece of data and a very significant line. So this obviously breaking potentially, we've still got 2 days, 11 hours, but this potentially breaking and closing below would be one thing to look for a test of, if we reclaim it, then we're back on the trend. But if obviously we close below it, technically we have broken one trend. Now, obviously there's many different working parts to looking at, cycle tops and when cycles change and go into a different part of the cycle. If we had topped, we'd now be going into the markdown phase. But this would definitely be one aspect where you could look at and say, well, that's one factor and one piece of evidence to go towards a potential cycle top. So yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely possible, mate. It's definitely possible. You can't rule it out. I don't know. Turn the wrong one off. I don't know. I'm not. I mean, yeah, it's interesting. My VIX options are printing hard. Oh, mate. My opinion is we're still in a bull market, but a fully manipulated market. I don't think it's manipulated. I wouldn't say it's manipulated. The crash of the 10th of October last month, that was manipulated. Yeah, that was full manipulation. I mean, that couldn't happen without manipulation. But it's just Bitcoin doing its thing. I mean, you know, pullbacks in bull markets are part of the plan, aren't they? And they can lead, they can lead, as we've seen along the way, to further upside expansion. But I wouldn't say it's manipulated. All I would say is the quite simple explanation for this going down is obviously one reason is obviously the past, the kind of past week or so, TradFi has been correcting, which has obviously been adding fuel to Bitcoin's weakness. But it's basically just a lack of being able to go higher. As you can see, we come up here in July, didn't we? This was the previous all-time high. We come up into new all-time high, sold off. We had another go of it, could barely make, much of price discovery, sold off. Another attempt in October, could barely really get over. Again, all-time high, sold off. So if you can't go higher, if the momentum isn't there to take you much higher, you have to go lower or sideways, which we did. We did go sideways. So, it done sideways, tick. It tried to go higher, couldn't go any higher. So then the only other option left, apart from continuing sideways, is to go lower, which obviously sometimes markets need, it needs to do it to go and source liquidity. And a correction can be very healthy too. I still think, it could quite easily do this. There's nothing to discount that at all. But I mean, in my mind, the quicker the better. These bounces and stuff like that, it just prolongs the inevitable. It just prolongs the slow bleed, unless, of course, it is building a bottom already. Mag 7, look. Oh, honestly, that Nvidia short at 210 is gonna. Imagine if that ends up being the macro top. I mean, down to 185. Crazy. Just staring it in the face as well. 11-12% down. Oh, wow. Wounding. Absolutely wounding. But there we go. Yo, Lewis Vision. How we doing? If you haven't already, please do drop a like on the stream. Please do subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Let me get a little poll going, actually, because I am quite... I'm quite interested to see what you guys think. Not that. That's the bloody later one. Hang on. Let me know what do you guys think to this. Go vote on the poll now. Also, drop a like. There's 13 viewers, 6 likes. Let's up these likes, guys. Come on now. But yeah, we could just continue to consolidate, but I think with this being so close, this CME gap down here, this CME gap being so close, it just seems inevitable that it's going to close it. I mean, most of them close at some point, don't they? All of them have closed completely, apart from ones at like 9-10k, I think. I think we do actually have one still at like 20k. But, apart from that, all of them have closed, so... imagine Palantir. Oh, I know, yeah. I know. If you had to choose one from here, E4 Sol, I would choose Sol. Yeah. I would choose Sol just because I think it just trades better in the market. But if you had the gun to my head, yeah, I would choose Sol. I just think it trades better in the market. Wiz says neither. Yeah, but you have to choose one. If you had to choose one, that's what he says. If you had to choose one, you got to choose one. You can't say none. You can't say none. You got to choose one. I would choose Sol. But yeah, I mean, let's go and have a look. See what's happening to alts. Obviously, ETH is drifting further down. XRP. We've looked at all these as well. You know, we've looked at all these. I mean, this. If you actually go back and look at this, so let's do a little bit of TA on Solana. And what I want to do is just get rid of everything. And maybe we'll put it on the weekly. So, if you guys remember, obviously last year, we had this range form, which was obviously, you know, really nice trading range. But the key thing was, you know, this was a big area of SR, you know, kind of down towards the 120 region. Now, to me, you know, depending on how you want to draw this, I'm just going to get as much price action in as I can, which, you know, to a reasonable amount. So, you know, we've got a couple of wicks above there, but that's fine. I think basically this is just one big trading range on Sol. So just, you know, just zoom all the way out. You zoom all the way out. And what do you see? You literally just see a range high and a range low. You know, you've got deviation there where we dropped below and obviously come and tested demand there, but then we recaptured the range, and then there was the retest to confirm obviously that it had flipped back to support properly. And then of course, you know, you've got the deviation there in January. So if you actually just strip it back to the weekly chart and zoom out, Sol is literally just stuck between high time frame demand and high time frame resistance. And that is literally as simple as it gets. Yes, it will take a long time for it to trade there because we are looking at a really, really high time frame. You know, this is basically 2 years of price action in it, you know, going back, well, almost, you know, minus a couple months, but almost 2 years of price action. So, and again, you know, you can split it then. If you look at it, you know, if you look at it in its purest form on the weekly, you can actually see, you know, a nice area there if you wanted to split the range up into maybe two or whatever. But again, here, you know, this along here, you know, looks like a nice area for splitting the range up into two or what, you know, whatever you want. But basically, you just got a high time frame range high and a high time frame range low, and it looks like it's on a one-way track towards the range low. Now, of course, this will be a big test for Sol. You would want to see it hold 120 on the weekly. But to me, that seems reasonable for what might come on Bitcoin. A 10% drop on Bitcoin, 20% drop on Sol, and just a retest of the high time frame range low. As long as it holds, then it's all good. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, come on, Wiz, pick him. Yes, Delta, how we doing? All good, mate. All good. Sui. Yeah, I'll have a look at Sui in a minute. The thing is, I think, was it earlier this week or last week, we actually went through and outlined areas for obviously where we'd be looking for price to come into. So a lot of them have already got them on, which is quite handy. I know Sui has, I think. Look at Aya. Yeah, this thing is scammed hard, hasn't it? I saw someone posting about this. There you go. There's Filecoin. I saw someone posting about this yesterday as well. This seems like obviously it's the next one maybe to go with ICP running. But you can see there it's now testing SR on the weekly. You can see that there, can't you? That SR on the weekly. And again, I've already mapped out the levels, you know, for Filecoin to trade through. This thing, oh, look at that. That is outrageous, isn't it? That is all from yesterday as well, which is just, that is silly, isn't it? That is just silly. I mean, can you imagine buying in there and just getting an instant like 14x? Like, that is just crazy, isn't it? But yeah, wild, utterly wild. And you're just gonna see more and more of these. You know, you're just gonna see more and more, one after another, racking them up. Look at KDA. Someone's buying up KDA. 46% up today. Who is buying up KDA? Or have we seen some news on KDA? I've not checked, to be honest. Maybe someone's going to buy KDA or fund it or something, but that has had a nice pump up off the bottom, hasn't it? But yeah, let's go back to Sol anyway. So yeah, that's Sol. I think if you just strip it back on the weekly, that kind of land. And this is the thing with a lot of these altcoins. A lot of them are showing signs that it would fit extremely nicely if they all had one more drop, catalyzed by Bitcoin dropping once more. So obviously, you know, that 10% drop into the 90k area for Bitcoin, you see Sol, you know, you'd definitely say around 20% for Sol on that, which would slot it very nicely back in towards super high time frame demand. XRP, same thing. We looked at it, didn't we? We looked at it last week. You know, again, coming back into here. Of course, you know, you've got a little bit as well, a little bit further down, but you know, again, you know, XRP, it's already retraced a lot more. So you would think that maybe this would come for this level, which I think lines up quite nice on the daily. But again, you know, coming back into demand with one more drop. Hype in this range. You know, Hype's just range bound, but I do like this $25 area on Hype. I think that $25 area is really nice. So again, that's another one. BNB, it's already, I mean, BNB's already pulled back quite a bit on it. That was my kind of area where it's already bounced slightly, just front run it a little bit. But, you know, maybe down to 750-ish, perhaps. I don't know on BNB. You never know, do you? Dogecoin, again, you know, 20% drop. It's still in and around that level. But, you know, that would bring it back nicely into demand. Pump, another one, you know, back down towards there, would look quite nice. And again, you know, kind of fall perfectly into that percentage pullback that Bitcoin would probably give alts if it did pull back. Ton, I haven't really checked to see what Ton's doing, to be honest. Let's see. Ton, blimey. This thing doesn't look too healthy at all, does it? I mean, Christ, I know. Just anything in there, and what would that be on Ton? Yeah, I mean that is, you know, perhaps Ton has a bit more weakness, but you know, a 30% pullback just back in towards that weekly demand would look fine to me. Again, you know, maybe catalyzed by Bitcoin. ADA finally looking like it's going to retrace back to its starting point, and again, you know, that would be back into there and finally come and fill this in from, you know, a year ago. Looks definitely possible back into there. So again, and you know, you can rattle through these. If you want me to do anything specific, let me know. Again, Litecoin back towards $70 looks reasonable, and percentage wise, Bitcoin pulls back another 10% from here. 20% on Litecoin seems reasonable. So yeah, in terms of obviously looking at pullbacks and further down, everything kind of lines up with one more flush. Again, Link, I think it was Coding, wasn't it, that asked about Link? It's already hit my first box there, but obviously the prime one is down here. And again, you know, Link, again, you know, 20, potentially 25% pullback. Just lines up perfectly, done it, and that would come and test demand. I would be buying Link down there for sure. Link's one of the solid ones in it where, you know, it's just going to actually behave itself and actually trade like a proper asset. I think, you know, it'd be a great opportunity there. And, you know, obviously Link's one of the ones where you can kind of have that safety of sizing up a bit. You know, you could comfortably get away with 5x leverage with being able to manage it properly, potentially. AVAX, that back down to here. I think that looks really nice on the daily. Of course, on the weekly, it doesn't really look, you know, down. You would say probably down towards $9-10 on the weekly. But I remember drawing this on the daily. And again, you know, from here, 30%, seems reasonable. Some altcoins will have more weakness than others, right? Sui. So these were the zones outlined on Sui. It's not really come in and tested it fully. It's tested, it's kind of front run it a bit, hasn't it? But for asking about Sui, yeah, I think obviously, you got Hera's decent to SR, haven't you? So, a test of in and around 170, but ultimately a white, 30% back to there would be a nice test of SR back to kind of the starting region. And I think, that should give a nice value area. And again, this is obviously suggesting that we get one more pullback on Bitcoin. If we don't end up getting one more pullback on Bitcoin, then a lot of these levels obviously won't be touched. But, just obviously plotting for that scenario until Bitcoin shows us otherwise. We can do that. DOT, there's nothing there. Not interested in that thing. Uni, again, Uni's actually in a really tricky situation, to be honest, because as you can see, we are really not too far away from the cycle lows, which is crazy. I mean, but you see again, something like Uni, 25% back down to there. Honestly, the risk reward towards $4 on Uni is massive, isn't it? Because you're just testing the high time frame lows. So I think what we'll do is on Monday, actually, or should we do it today? What do you guys think? I think what we could do is create a list of maybe, being prepared. Shall we create a list? What do you guys think? Let me know if you wanna create a list of what I think obviously would be the things pulling into the best areas should we get one more drop and everything kind of lining up. Let me know if you want me to do that now. We could do that now, to be fair. And we'll just make a list of the things that would provide the best risk reward in terms of where they would pull into. Let me know if you want to do that, and obviously we can, you can take suggestions from you guys and let me know what you guys would be looking at buying. But I think that would be quite good. Let me know if you want to do that now, and we'll do it now. See what memes are doing. What do you guys think of XRP? Howdy, Steve-O. Howdy to you. Hey, Steve-O. I don't know if you know the answer to this or not, but how long does a letter take? If you post a letter in the US, how long on average does it take to get to the UK? Depending on, obviously, I know you can probably pay for faster services and that, but what's kind of, I don't even know if you send letters to and from America anymore, but what have you found it takes? I mean, I could go and look on Royal Mail and stuff, but I kind of want like a realistic thing. XRP, again, this just depends on where Bitcoin's going to go. It does have really nice demand down here. I mean, the thing on XRP is it's just still got like a big gaping hole on it. Like, it's just got still a big gaping inefficiency there. Like, I assume that will get filled in at some point. Maybe not. I mean, they've got enough money to keep it as high as they want. But I think, the value area in the scenario that Bitcoin pulls back more would be down towards here. Again, it may not do. Eight working days. You're joking. You are joking. Is that the fastest one? Or on average? Is that the fastest one or on average? Express international option, which they can achieve delivery in 1 to 3 business days. Just basic post. I'm gonna ring him up and say send it by the fastest one. Anyway, yeah. What do you guys think? Should we make a list? Let's make a list of. Let me just pull up a document. Let me pull up a document, and we'll make a list of what we think the best altcoins to buy will be. Right. There we go. Let's see. Let's see. Are we on? Yeah, right. Let's see. So let's give it a title. So best risk reward altcoins. Let's say so the best risk reward altcoins, assuming a Bitcoin drop towards 90k. So what we'll do is we'll split this up into how should we split this up? Into like, let's just have like just best overall risk reward. Let's have large caps, and then let's do like a meme slash high high risk reward. Right, there we go. So we'll build this together, and then obviously preparation is key, isn't it? So we can be prepared, and I've obviously already gone through it. So let me know your guys' suggestions in the chat. Express delivery will still take 3 to 4. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'm going to ring them up and basically just tell them I'll pay for it. Just send it express. Which is fine. Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll tell you what. Actually, what I'll do is let's see we're up to on this 71%. Think no. Okay, interesting. Let me get the poll up for US Open. I'm gonna go to the toilet so I can ring the estate agents as well. Bloody hell, what am I doing? Up, down, and then when I come back, we will fill in this sheet. So get your recommendations in for the best risk reward altcoins in a couple of categories, assuming a Bitcoin drop towards 90k. So another 10% correction from here. Well, I've got 3 categories: best overall risk reward. So basically the ones that are coming into the cleanest areas, or maybe trade the best in the market, given the the lowest risk for obviously maybe dropping further. Large caps, and then meme / high risk reward. So we'll do that when I get back. I'll just be a couple minutes. I'm going to go to the toilet and then just ring the estate agents as well. So I'll leave you with the Bitcoin chart. Don't go anywhere. Obviously, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll be back in a minute. Right. I'm back. So that's all sorted. For myself, my last cup of tea, because I've got no more left in the flask. Empty. Right. Put this back on charge and let's get cracking with this. So, we've got Bobby saying memes, Pepe, NPC, SPX, large cap, Sui, Link, Sol, of course. Tron has a great chart ever since launch, so another good one. Yeah, I think I would probably agree with most of them. I think, yeah, I mean, I would definitely, and let's pair these so it's just not complete bias. But let's look at the SPX chart, because SPX is definitely one that I would agree with. I think because of how it moves in the market, typically when Bitcoin bottoms, you know, you can see what it did back in April onwards was crazy. But I think SPX has basically, well, not, as you can see, the past 3 days, it's tried to hold above SR on it. You know, you can see resistance, support. It's tried to hold above that. Now it's breaking back into the range. If it closes back in and reopens this, I would say probably minimum would be a retrace of 32%. However, given that it's a meme, you just don't know what it's going to do. It could maybe go a bit lower, potentially back in towards 40, 45. But I would definitely say this is worth a pump, because obviously it's just kind of one of them coins that moves well in the market. So I would definitely agree with you on that. So let's put that on there. Let's up the thingio, and let's do that. Fart coin, I think would be one as well. I think, you know, this would basically just be touching high time frame demand again, wouldn't it? And, you know, another 30 to maybe 40% one. That would just be coming back towards test demand from the origin of the rally. I think that would be one that I would punt on. Now, the last one that I am going to suggest would be this one. I don't know if many people have traded this or not. I fumbled this so hard, you know. So I held some of this. I bought some of this, like, where was it? Where was it that I bought some? I think I bought some here, and then some down here, and then it got this rally up here and I didn't sell it. And then when it started to retrace back down, I cut my loss. And then ultimately, I think I cut my loss like here. So it wasn't much loss, but it was a loss. Then it ended up dropping like another 60% all the way down to here in April. So you know, at the time I thought, you know, like, but the trouble was I didn't buy back in. And then, of course, since then, it went on to do just crazy. But this is one where, again, like SPX, and it moves really well in the market. But, you know, I went on to miss out like up to 13x on that, because I didn't buy back in, which would have been great, because if I'd have bought back in with the amount that I sold, honestly, that would have been so cushy. But I'm prepared to not make the same mistake again. So I think, you know, on something like this, back in towards there. So, and it moves really well in the market, this. But again, you know, a retrace of anywhere back towards there and there, 30 to 50%, I would be in there. So that is one I'm going to put on the list as well. But yeah, I mean, this is another thing that has haunted me like all year, basically. Of where at the time I sold good, because I think it was around 1.8 that I got out before it obviously went all the way down. So, you know, I saved myself like 70% loss, 60% loss. The problem was I didn't look at it then and buy back in, which I should have, because obviously it just went on to do crazy numbers. And again, it was one of them where you could have traded it nice, you know, buy back in there, sold up there, bought back in, sold, dipped, bought back in, and then just rode. Oh yeah, it would have been great. Anyway, so that is I think my 3 if you want to put forward a different meme, let me know in the chat. But personally, I think I'd be going for the ones that just move the most volatile and move the hardest and the fastest in the market. I'm not really interested in holding one for the next 2 years or whatever. I'm looking at the ones where they could potentially get the fastest and most volatile recoveries in the event of a Bitcoin bottom, which I think would be them 3. You look at some of the larger caps, like maybe Pepe. It's going to take a while in it. It's going to take a while for it to move, and it doesn't move by big enough numbers. If you look at this thing the other day, if you actually look at what this thing did the other day from when it bottomed, this thing bottomed here, and just from like in and around the medium there, for that whole day of being able to potentially buy it, it went up 40%. You'd be interested in them fast, volatile, fast-moving memes, in my opinion. Anyway, is what I'd be looking for. So I'm going to put forward them 3. Let me know in the chat if you agree with them or not. What is Bert a meme of? This little dog that wears a hat. This little dog that wears a hat. Yeah. Honestly, gutted because I was really bullish on it as well. I was really bullish on it at the start of the year. And then obviously the market started to take a downturn. It was when Bitcoin started to lose 90k, when we were stuck in that previous range. And I thought, this is not looking good. This need to sell everything, which was a smart move. But then I'd never thought to buy back into that, which is annoying because it would have been what I had in the Bert one would have been well over 6 figures towards the top, and not even looking at the actual top, looking at just getting in and around anywhere around there. The bag would have been worth 6 figures easy. So it's really haunted me, yeah. So really pissed about it, but I will. I'll be looking to get in on that. I'm not looking to make the same mistake twice if we do get some sort of potential. Now, I think in terms of looking at high time frame ranges, I think risk reward wise, Solana at 120, you just can't ignore, can you? Like, yes, you've got the potential maybe to come and revisit this down here. But in terms of looking at that, 120 was defended for it's been defended apart from a week there. It closed outside there, but, the week after we closed back inside. So apart from 1 week, for the best part of almost 2 years, 120 has been defended on the weekly. So I think in terms of best overall risk reward, what size is it? 14. We have got to go for Solana. I've just got to put it in there because I think just a test of that on the weekly 120, and the risk reward is fantastic. So that's what I'm thinking on that. Let me know again in the chat. Do you agree or not? Apart from that, Link, like you said, Bobby, got to agree on Link. It trades so cleanly in the market, and a retest back down towards here, 25% drop, which would line up pretty nicely. You just can't ignore. And I think structurally, you'd just be testing demand again, and it'd just be a really nice spot. And again, this is one of the ones where best overall risk reward basically means like where it's coming into, but also how it trades. And again, like Solana, you've got that clear line in the sand. Like this, you've got that clear line in the sand because, if it goes much lower, you've got $8 then, which it's only ever been tested on WEEX. It's only ever been tested on WEEX. There is the potential that you could come and get like a full proper retest of towards $8, but I think just Link would be unbelievable down there. What else would I put in best overall risk reward? It's a tricky one. I think hype, but I don't know whether we're going to get. I don't know whether we're going to get enough of a dip on hype. You need kind of that weakness. So obviously, if you look on the daily chart, we're obviously just stuck in this range, aren't we? We're just stuck in this range. But you see this weakness that hype had last week or week before, whenever this was. Last week. You need kind of something like that to set in. But I think, anything towards $25 would just be absolutely perfect. So I am going to put hype in there, but with the condition of $25 because it might not get there. It might not get there. Like, for instance, like if it just come and swept here, $30, personally, I wouldn't really be that interested in it, which might sound stupid, but I'm looking at obviously the ones that will come into the real prime areas, which, would, if it only came into there, you'd still leave this open. You'd just be sweeping. I'm not really, wouldn't be too interested in it there. I'd want kind of the proper full, basically when everyone's arse falls out and everyone starts to panic, and you look to get the prime entries. That's what I'd be looking for, in and around $25. So with the condition, in and around $25, give or take, $2 or whatever, that will be fine with me on hype. Again, let me know in the description. Let me know if you agree. What's the thesis on Sol was making a coffee? Sol, yeah. So let me show you. So Sol, do you know what I tell you what, we should actually put the figures, shouldn't we? Let's put the figures, because obviously it would just make sense then, because we're talking about Bitcoin dropping towards 90. Let me put the chain link figure in. What is it again? Let's just say $11. Let me go back to Sol and I'll talk you through my Sol thesis. So basically, if you look on the weekly chart on Sol, you can see that 120 is a massive SR zone. Obviously it was resistance and then it flipped to support. But for the best part of almost 2 years, we first come up into this range in February 24. So, 2 years minus 4 months, 20 months. So for 20 months, 120 has been the line in the sand and the place where demand has come in. So you can see all along here, bought. We dropped out for 1 week. So over the last 20 months, we have only dropped out for 1 week. We dropped out, closed it below the weekly. And then as you can see on the next weekly candle, all the way back up and closed back inside the range. So it would have been maybe 1 week and a couple days, whatever. But in terms of the weekly chart, we've actually only ever closed at below 120 once. So for me, you look at that and you just think this is all just one big, massive high time frame trading range, isn't it? That's just all one massive high time frame range. And you can't lie, you just can't lie when looking at the chart. If you remove all bias and everything, on the weekly, 120 has always been a good buy over the last 20 months. Even if you bought 120 on this dip, a week later, you found yourself in profit. So you just can't lie with what the chart says. And again, if we was to lose that, then, maybe you could look for coming down back towards here, maybe even lower. But as it stands, it is support in it. So, you buy support, and if it breaks, then obviously, you look what to do next. But that's my opinion anyway on that. What else would we put in? Trying to look through what else would you potentially put in. I think Sui will be good, but yeah, down towards there. I think a test of Sui does give you decent risk reward, but again, maybe some people would draw this differently. Obviously I've basically just drawn it there along SR, but perhaps maybe some people would draw it a bit lower, maybe like down towards 80 cents perhaps. So I think Sui's a difficult one because it depends on how you draw it and obviously what you'd be looking for. I would just be looking, you can see on the weekly there, that is just clear SR. You've got support, even coming in all along there. If you expand it to the left, SR there. But I think obviously some people may draw it differently. Some people may look for lower. So maybe that's where it lies with Sui in terms of not being the highest risk reward. Because I think if you look at the Solana chart and you look at the hype chart, you can undoubtedly see that is just unquestionable. And again, you look at the hype chart on the daily, just unquestionable area of interest and demand. And yes, but maybe you could attach it to Sui as well. I don't know whether I'd put it. I'd maybe put that in the large cat one though. I think I'd maybe put that in the large cat one as opposed to the best overall risk reward. So Sui, and then what area would we be looking at? 120. Let me know again. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Let's flick down the list. If there's anything maybe staring you in the face, or you think is obviously worth going on one part of the list, let me know. This thing always moves quite nice in the market, doesn't it? But again, not really too interested in it. I don't know whether that might be it for the most risk reward possible. I mean, we could cover ETH, of course. We've not even looked at ETH. I think in here reopens something good in terms of accumulation. I think 2.5K is a definite buy. I think you buy 2.5K, then obviously granted that Bitcoin takes a U-turn back up, then I'm gonna stick you. That's gonna be the last one on this one. That's gonna be the last one. There we go. So that is the 4 best overall risk reward coins: Solana, Link, Hype, and ETH. So now we need to do the large cap section. So we've got Sui on there. Let me know in the chat, what do you think in terms of large cap? So that can be just basically any other one that you think is decent. I think Dogecoin down towards, now this is obviously again another question. Do you think Doge is going to drop 30%? Actually, it could do. It could do. I think that would be max risk reward, to be fair. If you look at it, Doge kind of 12, 11 cents would be max risk reward. Let's look at it on a daily. I mean, you would obviously, it's held demand here so far, but again, you probably wouldn't just get a 12% drop, would you? I mean, yeah, I think let's just throw, what should we do? Should we throw 12 or 11 cents out there? I think let's put 12 to 11. And I would definitely put, let's see. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Litecoin, I think Litecoin $70. I think Litecoin $70, because I think at some point, unless everything is well and truly over and just fully done, I think at some point Litecoin, you can see obviously it's tried trading above here since a year ago. I think obviously in a true quote unquote bull market, towards the end, you would get Litecoin kind of doing a ZEC to some certain extent of a true, like basically this is the truest form of Dino coin, and it's the second coin ever created. It is the most Dino coin you can get aside from Bitcoin. So I think in its truest form, it would basically be one where it kind of gives the signal for the cycle top once this thing just explodes. And again, that's obviously just planning for the best case scenario and hoping for something like that. But it may not get up towards its high, but I think, anything towards kind of 200, 250 would be really kind of solidifying that. Yeah, that's a solid pump. So yeah, I'm going to say Litecoin for that. And again, if you just split it up into its truest form on the weekly, look at how clean that is. You've got this, and again, this is around the weekly closes, not the wicks. We're looking at the weekly closes, but look at that. You've got support all along here, then resistance, then flip back to support. Again, we are using some of the wicks in there, to be fair. But then again, flip back to resistance. That is just the cleanest separation there. And then, of course, demand would be down here. So I'm going to put Litecoin in at 70. Did I put the... Yeah, I put the figure in. So let's choose one more large cap one. Let's choose one more. We got one more large cap. Hi all, back to the UK now. Man, it's so depressing in the UK. Mate, I think you need to go and have a lie down in a dark room for about a week after everything that you was doing. I think AVAX we should probably put in there, to be honest. you think? What do you think? I don't know. I'm looking through and nothing else is really jumping out at me. I think AVAX would probably be one where I would say, yeah. But let me know, what do you think? Maybe Euro. Obviously, tied to base, somewhat tied as an ETH beta. Let me know, what do you guys think for, what do you guys think for one more large cap edition? I think AVAX, to be honest. I think AVAX down towards, and you can see it cleanly on the daily. Really nice on the daily. Hang on. I kind of just plucked that thing, but I mean, you could, yeah. I think you could say $11 would be nice for AVAX. Maybe someone would pick a bit lower, maybe towards 10. But I think if you get AVAX for $11, that's not exactly a bad thing, is it? So let's put AVAX on there for $11 again. It may go down towards 10, but in the grand scheme of things, you are trying to buy areas where in a couple months after that will be great. So we need to put these areas in on. I'm not going to put areas on meme coins because you just never know how low they're going to go. You just don't know, do you? Like SPX, or was it Fartcoin the other day? It was one of them. I think it was SPX. Had back-to-back like 17% losses back-to-back. Like, you're not going to be able to just judge just how much they're going to shit the bed. So these three would be just depending when Bitcoin arrives at its destination. It'd be interesting to see if this happens. It may not do, but if it does, it'd be interesting to see how much these line up with what we've outlined. I'll be fascinated to see it. Bitcoin looks like it's having a bit of whipsaw action, low time frame. No, not really. It sounded a bit bigger when I saw it up at 100,500 and then back towards 100,000, but on the chart it's literally just minimal in it. Yeah, that's where we're up to. You got Adder on there? No way. No way. I mean, to be fair, I won't lie. On the weekly, if it comes back to it, I think obviously it just seems logical to just go and fill that in to me. It's still yet to fill in the inefficiency from last year. So, a pull, again, a 30% pullback on a 10% pullback seems very reasonable. But, yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, what is... I don't know. Like, I really don't like it. I just think it's a big piece of garbage. Like, no, I don't know any one person that uses it. And I never see any fuss about it or anything. Like, I just don't understand, like, the hype around it or anything. Like, I don't know one person. I couldn't name you one thing on Adder. I couldn't name you one meme coin on Adder. I don't understand the hype and kind of the size of it for what it is. So I just can't get behind it, I'll be honest. Sorry. I'm sorry if you hold it, James, but I just can't get behind it. Again, that doesn't mean that it can't trade nicely and can't get a nice bounce or whatever, but I just can't get behind it because I just think it's just vaporware, basically. Kind of trading into my TRX levels now. Each one's actually held quite nicely. If you look back there in September, October, held that nicely. We came back, we rejected from the underside of that level. We're now at the second level. Then we'd be down to this one. And then, of course, if we do fall down from there, we'd ultimately be back down towards 24. And that's wild, isn't it? Considering, like, yes, I do. In reality, that hasn't done as much gains as you'd think. It's just not really gave as much back. Like, from the start of 24, almost 2 years ago, it had only done up. It hadn't even done a 4x to where it got to up here. Obviously, up here it did, but that was just a crazy wick in it. It's not really done as much as you'd think. But in saying that, it's still up, which obviously a lot of altcoins can't say that they are. So it would have been a good protection of money for sure. Don't hold back. Yeah, just being honest. Well, I just don't get it. I just don't get all the hype. It's like SHIB, innit? For me, it's like SHIB. It's like I don't see anyone ever trading SHIB. Don't see everyone ever talking about SHIB. So to me, that just seems like it's just basically like time-based devaluing, where it's just going to take time for it to slowly lose its value. No one ever comes in and goes, yeah, buy SHIB. I never see anyone on the timeline buying SHIB or anything. So who's buying SHIB and who's holding it up? It just seems like one where just eventually it'll just lose its value and slowly slip lower and lower. And to me, I mean, what does ADA actually do? Do you know what I mean? That's just my opinion with it. But again, that doesn't mean you can't buy it at a good spot and it will go up. It probably would. And it's probably silly of me to have that mind frame. But I don't think I would take any of these 4 out to replace it with. Here, you could probably arguably take Sui out because Sui's newer. And maybe, obviously, I'm not sure on like the unlocks and stuff like that for that. So I'll tell you what we'll do, James. We'll put Sui and we will actually put ADA in because I think you could chop and change one of the two. So let's put it in to appease you. And let's say, just, let's just say 36 cents. Let's just say 36 cents. We'll just pick a number in there. Because I wouldn't take Doge, Litecoin, or AVAX out of there for it. So, yeah. I've just realised as well, obviously, the whole idea of this stream was to talk about the AI bubble, which we've just not talked about so far because we've been bloody talking about altcoins. Yeah, the discussion around the AI bubble, I just thought it would make a great thumbnail as well, which I think it come out quite nicely. Would be obviously this whole thing that come about yesterday with the reports that Sam Altman basically wanted the US government to back OpenAI loans and investments and data centers and stuff like that. He then come out and basically said that wasn't the case and started trying to explain it, blah, blah, blah. A lot of people basically saying it's saving face and stuff like that because maybe they're just burning through too much cash. Obviously, people may have started to see through it. And I know, obviously, if you look, Michael Burry is short again on Nvidia and maybe just the overall market. Let's go and see. I saw, what is it that the actual short? Yeah. So this was obviously earlier in November. I think these were coming in, whatever. But he's heavily short on Nvidia and Palantir. He's heavily short on Nvidia and Palantir. He's also short. No, he's not. He's long on Pfizer. But yeah, he's short on them too, which obviously are two of the biggest runners. If you actually look, Nvidia is getting smacked. It's getting absolutely smacked, isn't it? I don't know, obviously, whether this is topped or not. We don't know, do we? But this is, this is down a good solid 13-14% from the top. I did actually have this in a thingy on myself. Palantir, just getting. I mean, look at that. Down all the way to 171. So it's obviously, it's obviously concerning, I think, with obviously what's going on with AI, because people have been talking about an AI bubble for ages now. I would personally, what would I prefer? I would prefer one more big push up. Oklo. I mean, look at that. That's back down to $100 already. It was only mid-October that it was surging. I couldn't find any. You would have had to take this on CFD though, but I mean, that would have been, this thing doesn't even have a headquarters bigger than like your standard McDonald's, really. Like the headquarters is tiny. And it was valued at like 20 billion or something up here. So this is obviously retraced massively. And this was one of the ones that are in the AI circle jerk. where basically there's just like a big circle of them and they're all just invested in each other's companies, just basically passing around money. Passing around the same money. So yeah. But I mean, you can only really see a bubble pop obviously after it's popped, don't you? I would personally prefer, what would be my preference would just be one more leg up on the S&P to maybe somewhere like 7,000 odd. It's like 7,300, 400 if possible. Another leg up on Nvidia, another leg up on everything, and then kind of crash. But we'll see. I mean, you obviously don't get what you want, do you? Oh no, I'm no Cardano fanboy. It's so cheap. I think it'll look even nicer, 30% cheaper for me then, won't it? A man after my own heart. What are you on about? What are you on about? What does that even mean? I don't know what that even means, I'll be honest. The short position, Bury. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I've been wanting to watch The Big Short this week. It's a great film. It's a great film. I would just love one more leg up, like the primest of bubbles. I think the main problem for me is in looking for this would be that everyone is still talking about it being a bubble and wants it to be a bubble. That doesn't look great on the weekly, does it? But everyone's talking about it being a bubble and wants it to be a bubble. I think the point in which you just get people utterly euphoric and basically just even the people calling for a bubble forgetting that it may be a bubble would just be insane. And like I just say, anywhere just in here, 230 to 250, like would just be the biggest gift ever. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. Just one more leg up. Just, send the S&P to like, yeah, just below like in and just anywhere below 7,500-ish. Like just give it one more leg up. Give maybe not even that high. Maybe not even that high. Maybe just send it to like 7,200, whatever. High enough to give one more leg up on everything. And send this to just absolute euphoria. That would be my ideal scenario, but maybe we don't get what we want, who knows. I just had a look at my ETFs. They're looking tasty. Steak for tea tonight. Yeah, mate. Nice. Yeah. I'm still gutted that I didn't fire a load in when I was looking at Nvidia at 210. I don't know what I was thinking. But I still have mine. Yeah, but I don't know what I was thinking. But we'll see. We'll see what happens anyway. We'll see. Yeah, but I think that's the list anyway. That's the list. Best overall risk reward: Solana 120, Link $11. Hang on. Definitely need to add this. Remember, this is not financial advice, people. This is just us looking at the charts and looking at areas of interest, lining up on a chart, not buy signals. But yeah, Solana 120, Link $11, Hype if it gets to $25. ETH 2.5K. Large caps, Sui / Adder. So take your pick. Sui 120, Adder 36 cents. Dogecoin 12 to 11 cents. Litecoin $70. AVAX $11. And then your memes and your high risk reward ones would be SPX Fartcoin and Bert. There we go. That's my opinion anyway. Do you agree? Let me know in the chat. Do you agree with that list? What would you take out and add in? Do let me know. This thing is sinking, isn't it? MicroStrategy is sinking. Absolutely sinking. I think you could add this onto the list in and around kind of 150, wherever. But this, yeah, I mean, this thing is just sinking massively. I mean, I'm gutted that I didn't think to buy any MicroStrategy short ETFs up here. Can you imagine how much they'd have printed by now? Oh yeah. That would have been tasty. Talk about things being tasty. That would have been tasty. I wonder if I won the lottery last night. Let's see. Oh, no, I didn't. And someone won a set for life. 10 grand every month for 30 years. 120 grand a year. Tax-free. And then 2 people, the jammy bastards, won 10 grand a month for a year. I really hope to win that one day. What the F is Bert? Bert is a meme coin, like a lower cap meme coin. It's not a shill of it or anything because it has been quite high. It went up to like $100 million. So obviously I am going to have zero effect on that completely. But basically it was one that I held towards the start of the year, and I'll give the full story again just for max pain for your enjoyment, James. So I bought this at the start of the year, and I think my average entry was like point like 2.8 or 2.9 or something. But I started buying it here, and then I bought a bit more on this dip, which basically like kind of brought it in and around here. And then I remember watching it in bed. So this was when it spiked up to here. This was when Trump released his meme coin, and I remember it spiked up to there, and I watched it in bed, like towards the top, and I didn't sell it. And then obviously the market started correcting. So then I ended up getting out for like a 30% loss, somewhere in and around kind of like 1.9, 1.8. So I sold for a 30% loss, which at the time was great, because then it went on to, you know, towards the bottom to do minus 80% from where I bought it, or obviously from where I sold. From where I sold, you know, saved me like 70%. So at the time, it was a good decision. Now, the problem was I didn't buy back in. And then as you can see from on the chart, you know, if I would have bought, you know, obviously you're not going to time the exact bottom, but just say, you know, you had like a full week there. Just say you buy back in anywhere in and around there, you know, even up towards here, that would have been, you know, a solid 5x. Obviously towards the top, there's 10x, there's 11, 12, you know, you get the gist, 7x, 8x, wherever. So I didn't buy back in, and obviously while I avoided short-term drawdown, had I bought back in, you know, anywhere, even days after the crash, I would have ended up with, you know, a really nice sum and obviously really nice profit. So I'm interested in doing it again. The main reason being is because it trades really well in the market. You know, you can see obviously it trades very, very volatile, but it bounces really nice when Bitcoin's doing well. So, you know, obviously if you just have a look at this. So obviously from this area the other day, you know, obviously when we got the drop down, And again, you know, you're not saying you can time the exact bottom, but just say, you know, in the middle there, you know, that's a span of almost 12 hours. So just say anywhere in the middle there, bounce, you know, 30-35%, just very fast. So the reason I picked that is because of obviously how it trades in the market. Hopefully it should get a nice, if Bitcoin goes down, you know, anywhere between 30 and 50% in this zone. But then I'm looking at things, which is the reason I've got SPX and Fartcoin in there, because I don't want to be left holding something and thinking I'm going to have to hold this for 2 years to get a pump. I'm looking at the things that will bounce the fastest and the hardest and give the most volatile upside faster, so I can buy it and then sell it fast, which obviously I think in terms of memes, these three are three of, you know, the potentials to give the fastest and quickest upside action following a Bitcoin bottom. So that's the reason I've got them three in there anyway. So do with that information what you will. Again, it's not financial advice, but there's my explanation for it anyway. We're open, by the way. If you won, would you come back on stream? Yeah. Or gone to the win? No, I would come back on stream. Oh yeah, I'd come back on stream. What was I going to do then? Oh yeah, I need to close out that poll. So the poll was 67% down and a smaller majority for up. But yeah, that's my list anyway. Let me know in the chat. No one's really said anything. Does anyone disagree with anything? I think all that. I mean, once Bitcoin bottoms, you can basically buy anything, can't you? If I was to add another one onto there, I probably would add the BNB chain one, the 4 one, because BNB doesn't really have a meme, and obviously that's done quite well. I don't know whether it would just trade down to zero eventually, but I think that has obviously good ties to obviously CZ with the whole 4 thing. So if I was to add another one, I would probably add the 4 meme on there, and just maybe see what that does. But I don't think I would want to expose myself across 4 different memes, so I won't. But yeah, we are open for US market, so I mean, yeah, Nvidia down to 185, Microsoft actually up, Tesla getting smashed. They had the shareholder meeting, board of directors meeting or something yesterday, didn't they? Did you see the Optimus robots dancing? Anyone see that? I'll put it on the screen now. Let's see. Look at that. Look at it. Look at them dancing. That's crazy, isn't it? Look at them go. Tesla's going to be worth so much money, aren't they? Once like they start getting like fully rolled out everywhere. Like the jump into robotics is wild. I think maybe something that's really underpriced. I mean, if we get like a massive market crush over the next 2 years, I would love to just buy loads of Tesla. But yeah, there we go. Anyway, we're open and we're trading down so far. We're open and we're trading down. So, tell you what, I'm a bit tired after making that list. Non-stop talking for an hour and a half, basically. Yeah. Oh, it's Friday anyway. What's everyone doing tonight and over the weekend? Anyone got much planned? Dave, rumours have it you got some moves on you, my good man. Tell you what, when I get tipsy, I can move, and I am prone to dancing, yeah. So you have to get me drunk first, though. I'm a very awkward dancer if I'm not drunk. I feel too awkward, and I just feel I feel incredibly awkward and stiff and everything when I've not got enough alcohol in me. Problem is, at the moment I'm not drinking, so you wouldn't get any alcohol in me. There's a little weird music festival on near me that I shall be attending. What makes it weird? What makes it weird? Bitcoin looks like a bag of rocks, doesn't it? That's about to be thrown into some water. It's just like eventually going to sink once it gets thrown in there. If you went, you'd know. Well, come on, what makes it weird? Give us, is it the type of music? Is it the type of people that go there? What makes it weird? What type of music is it? Small bands in a small town. What type of music is this? I'm getting the vibe that this will be some kind of like heavy metal or kind of like just strange music. Not to say heavy metal, strange music, like, but you know the kind of music where you get people doing like mosh pits and stuff like that, like that type of music. What's everyone else doing? Someone else must be doing. Steve, you're defo having a drink tonight. You always have a drink. I would have, though. There will be some metal, but I've seen bands in these bars before and they're odd. Yeah, well, enjoy it anyway. I mean, it's a trip out, isn't it? It's a trip out, gets you out the house, gets you doing something, so enjoy it while you can. The S&P 500 is sinking, absolutely sinking. So I think we're going to get some acceleration on Bitcoin soon. If this keeps sinking throughout today's session, I'm kind of looking at this area, 6,500, which will be another 2.5% drop, which lines up obviously with kind of like a nice weekly zone. Again, you could draw this as a box, kind of in and around there. But I think that kind of looks quite nice for a pullback. But if this keeps sinking, yeah, Bitcoin is gonna get tucked to the cleaners. What am I doing this weekend? Unfortunately, I'm not doing my house up. I was looking forward to starting work on the house, but fortunately, not going to be able to do that because I don't have the keys. So what I did this morning was I nipped round to the house quickly, got the estate agents to meet me there, and I measured up the kitchen. Oh, do you know what I didn't do? I didn't measure it. I didn't measure it long ways. I don't think. God damn it! I don't think I measured it long ways. Like from that wall to the other wall. No, I didn't. Oh, I'm an idiot. Actually, to be fair, it don't matter because would that be the same? Yeah, it would be the same. No, it wouldn't. It would be longer. Oh, I'm an idiot. I didn't measure it that way. Oh well. Yeah. You've literally just seen me just go through the motions in my head there of basically just calling myself an idiot, thinking about what I'd actually done and what I've missed. I've basically missed because the kitchen's like two what, like facing each other. Like obviously you got one strip, and then on the other side of the kitchen you got the other one. It's not like an L-shaped kitchen or anything. And basically what I've done is I forgot to get the length of one of them. Got everything else apart from the length of one of them. So yeah, that's annoying. But apart from that, yeah, I'm gonna go and get the kitchen measured up. I also measured the bathroom to fit a bath in there. So get rid of the shower and put a bath in. So I did that. So I'll go and do that this weekend. But apart from that, not really up to much, to be honest. MicroStrategy getting took to the cleaners. Everything getting took to the cleaners. Don't do IKEA kitchen. They are shit. Really? IKEA was actually one of the options as well. To be fair, IKEA was one of the ones I was thinking about. Is that from experience, Steve? Let me know, because actually IKEA was one of the ones I was thinking about. Well, thanks for letting me know anyway. I'll go to WEEX instead. I'll go to WEEX instead. What about WEEX kitchens? Do you have any experience with WEEX kitchens? WEEX was actually the one that came back. I asked Grok which was the best, and WEEX was the one that came back with the best. I know obviously Howden's is a good one, and DIY Kitchens I think is meant to be a good one, but I don't really fancy paying like 10 grand out at once for a kitchen. So I think I'm going to get it on finance, because I don't really have any finance monthly payments or anything, and I don't have a car. So that kind of gives nice room to just, instead of forking out all that money at once, to just get it on finance instead. Problem is obviously Howden's and DIY Kitchens don't do finance. So there's WEEX, there's IKEA, and then there is another one. But WEEX came back. I asked Grok which was the best, and James says, I fitted IKEA. It's fine as long as all the parts actually arrive. When they do, it's fine and easy to do. Decent finish, but they missed items twice in a row. Really? So what do you have to do there then to actually get the items? Like, what do you do? Because obviously it's not as easy as just going down to IKEA and saying you need to give me this, this, and this, is it? Like, what have you had to do? What's been the process, and how long has it took them to resolve it? Bitcoin is bouncing. Bitcoin is very low time frame anyway. Very low time frame, but yeah, it's bouncing back up. I think it's just creating a range for now, isn't it? Building probably liquidity both sides. Design it all online, then go in, and they will make sure your design is all going to work. Then all the parts are ordered, but they get delivered at different times depending on stock. Then if something is missing, it's a pain to correct. Yeah, see, I'm not doing that. I think I might just go to WEEX. WEEX kind of strike me as more, because it's like basically just like actual parts and stuff like that in it. I don't know. Dave, I've just had a kitchen installed by the range. They do half price ones near Exmouth because no one buys a kitchen at this time of year on finance, and finance is only about 3%. Really? Well, the good thing about the WEEX ones are, and I think IKEA too, is at the 0%. Bitcoin is actually getting quite a decent push on it, to be fair, innit? Can't fault it, a lot cheaper than WEEX. I'll have a look at that then, Sean. I'll have a look at it. It's a nice quality as well, yeah. I've not even thought about the range. Didn't even know the range did kitchens. Not even thought about that. Let's see. Oh dear, they are cheap, aren't they? I'll have a look. I'll have a look at the range. Thank you very much for that. You've been Googling a lot of Christmas food. That wasn't me Googling them. That was just coming up because I typed in Home Alone, I think. I don't know. They also give you a year free to pay it off. What? And then it's 3% after that. Dave, use your business to get a trade account at WEEX and get 10% off. I could use my friend's, to be fair. He's got like an actual joinery business, but it would have to be me, wouldn't it? Obviously, for applying for finance one. We'll see how it goes anyway. But I'll have a look at the range. Thank you very much for that, Sean. And I'll look at WEEX too. We'll see what we can come back with. But yeah, hopefully we can get it sorted. Hopefully. But I mean, Bitcoin has had over a 1K bounce, hasn't it? To be fair to it, it's had over a 1K bounce so far. So the bounce has been all right. Easy to do and online. The WEEX one, yeah. If your mate to join it, couldn't you get his advice on it? Yeah, he's gonna fit it. Yeah, he's gonna fit it. He's gonna fit the kitchen for me. But obviously, we need to design it ourselves and obviously pick one that we like and stuff like that. But he's gonna fit it. I'm not paying an installation cost. He's gonna fit it for me for cheap. But obviously we need to design it and we need to get it. But he'll tell me to go to where he went, which was I think he went to DIY Kitchens, but he just bought his outright. But I don't really want to do that, to be honest, because there's other areas of the house that I would rather spend that money on, like getting the garage converted into another living room and stuff like that. So there's better places for the money to go than to go on a kitchen, when obviously you can't finance a builder to convert a garage into a living room, can you? But if you can finance the kitchen at 0%, may as well, and then obviously put that money to other use for other areas of the house, because the garden needs doing, of it, the rest of the whole house needs decorating and stuff like that. So yeah, I think there's better areas for it to go on. So let's see how it goes anyway. Yeah, I know, which is why it's so annoying that it's now been held up, because I wanted to get started on it like last week, preferably. Do you know what I mean? I actually rang up the estate agents and said, thanks for you, Steve, as well, about the information. I rang up the estate agents when I went to the toilet and basically said, ring the sellers who are now in the US, living in the US. They must have emigrated over to the US. Ring the sellers and tell them to send it express, and if it needs to be, I'll pay for it to be sent express, because otherwise could be waiting 2 weeks, which is literally, that is just going to kill all hopes and dreams of getting in by like mid-January at the latest. But if they can send it express and it gets here early next week, then all good. Otherwise, yeah, it's just no good. It's just no good. So hopefully they can sort it out. But yeah, Bitcoin wise, nice bounce, low time frame again. Still not swept these wicks, but obviously down here is where we have demand, low time frame from where we bounced on Tuesday. But still not swept the wicks, but it's bounced a little bit, low time frame. This thing hasn't bounced, so it seems to be obviously just a Bitcoin only low time frame bounce. This bounced a little bit, but yeah, depending on what this does today, may dictate the Bitcoin, where Bitcoin goes. We could just stay in here. We could potentially maybe just stay in here for the rest of the week, maybe even into next week. Who knows? We'll see. But apart from that, there's not really much going on, is there? Thank you for everyone that's joined today. We will be staying on for a couple more minutes, but yeah. Quiet time in the market, which is obviously normal after a big drop. We have had one big drop already, 10% drop-ish, 15% drop, whatever. But yeah, I think maybe cool off into next week, and then we'll see what we get anyway. But yeah, I hope everyone's got something nice planned for over the weekend. Hopefully you've got something nice to do. Hopefully you got something nice planned. If not, I'm sure you'll find something. I'm sure. Well, I mean, I think it's personally setting up, unless obviously we get something drastic today in terms of fueling some Bitcoin downside move. I think it's setting up for suspend today and tomorrow, maybe just like, maybe just chopping about, maybe even not that much, maybe even a bit more compressed. And then I think on Sunday, so this is my prediction, is today and tomorrow we'll just chop about. On Sunday, we will get some scam move, basically just clearing out here. So maybe some scam move into like 106, 107, or just a little bit above to just basically just clear out this liquidity above there, one of the two. And then into next week, we'll bleed back down and then hopefully get some sort of final resolution to downside next week. And then spend the rest of November consolidation and then hopefully recovery. That's my prediction anyway. Today, tomorrow, maybe just consolidate. Scam move Sunday, back down next week. Bob's your uncle. Won't finish the rest. Yeah. But thank you very much to everyone that's joined today. It's been a great stream. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you've made some money this week. If not, new week, new opportunities. Obviously soon to be a new year as well. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Hope you have a great rest of your Friday. Hope you have a great weekend. Those of you in the Discord, I will be doing the Sunday stream, or Sunday lounge meeting. And I'll see you guys on YouTube on Monday. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, sign up to BLOFIN, all that jazz. And I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.